What's up, everyone? Drunken Phoenix here. Good morning or good afternoon, based on whatever time you're watching this. This is going to be a pretty good video. We're going to be reacting to people talking about their credit card debt as well as just spending in general. And I find this necessary because, for one, it allows me and hopefully you all to walk out of these videos with our head just a little bit higher, because some of the debt that these people are in, it blows my mind. I'm just like, why and how and just like, what, dude? Like, it makes me feel like, although I'm not perfect, like I'm doing something right, because some of these situations I cannot ever imagine being in. And two, I've been keeping up a lot with the politics and just what's going on with the government lately, and just like a lot of the different executive orders and actions that people are doing in the government. And let me just say, based on what I'm seeing, I would highly recommend that you all, myself included, like just really do a lot of saving, like really work on spending less and trying to figure out things that you can cut out of your daily spending to save as much money as you can. Because based on the looks of things, you're going to need it. If you're able to try to make more money, find a way to make more money, just reduce your debts. Like, I would really recommend that, because I think, just based on what I'm seeing, this economy has the potential to get a lot worse if the people in power do not make economical decisions for the average American. Because it looks like, let me just say, it looks like the wealth gap is going to get bigger. So, but without no further ado, let's get started with these videos.
You're stupid as fuck for this.
Okay, let me take that back. I respect my elders. David's at least 60 years my elder. Let me stop.
But hell no! I'm not gonna save $5,000 a year and not spend $1,370 on a nice coffee or a nice baguette. Fuck all that! Spend the $5,000, people. Just make more money, okay? Fuck with all the saving shit. No offense, Dave, that's some boomer stuff. Nowadays, you literally just gotta make more money.
Okay, so let me just flat out say that I am not the biggest Dave Ramsey fan at all. I find a lot of his advice to be very out of touch, very impractical, and just very gaslighty, With that being said, I think this particular tweet or post that he made, I think there's lessons that we can take out of this. There are a lot of things, this is just something that people do. We spend money on things that we don't need. And some of us are worse at it than others. But I think that this just helps us, this particular post can help us to just be mindful that there are some things that we spend money on that we could cut out of our daily spending. Whether it's that coffee from Starbucks that you get every day, or in my case, the ice cream cone that I get from Baskin Robbins every other day. Well, not every other day, but yeah, just instead of getting coffee every day from Starbucks, maybe just getting it once or twice a week from Starbucks. Or, saying, hey, maybe I don't need to buy this music festival ticket, which, okay, I don't think I'm there yet. I still like my music festivals. But, just being able to just look at your daily spending and figuring out what things can you cut out, or at the very least reduce, because every dollar counts these days. I mean, look at this, $1,370 a day is apparently $5,000 a year. So I think this is really good, a really good tip to keep in mind when you're spending money and when you're buying things every day. Just being mindful of what you're spending it on, and what you can cut out, or at least reduce. You can still buy things that you like and enjoy, because we're humans and we like to enjoy life. And I don't think that your life should start when you're old and retired. I don't think that's when you should start spending money on frivolous stuff. I think you should always, spend money on things that make you happy, but at the same time, be smart with your money. You know what I'm saying? Don't just splurge on a whole bunch of bullshit. Like, be mindful. Have a budget that is in alignment with your salary, your spending, and everything else, lifestyle. Yeah. So next video.
That's the only thing you can do.
Hey y'all, my name's Emily.
I do want to say, this girl right here, I forgot what this video is about, so it's kind of like I'm watching it for the first time again. But she should listen to Dave Ramsey advice to the strictest, because unless she has a mortgage loan, I don't know why she's in $420,000 in debt. So maybe, anyway.
And I'm coming on here because I'm going to be documenting my debt payoff plan. I am currently $420,000 in debt. It's a pretty gnarly number. Half of that number is my mortgage, so I promise I'm not super irresponsible. Still a little irresponsible, but not super. About a quarter of that is my student loans. About 10% of that is a car payment that I just bought. And the remainder is just general spending like Affirm payments and a credit card. I'm going to be using the Avalanche debt payoff method in order to pay that off, which is just starting with the highest interest loan and working my way down. I'm going to be documenting it here on TikTok to hold myself accountable. I hope you'll follow along. Today is payday. That means I get to pay off a little bit more debt. Today is December 2nd. I am Emily, and I'm a 28-year-old trying to pay off her debt. Today is day one of my debt payoff journey that I am documenting online. My last video, I stated that I had $420,000 of debt. After applying $722.97 of payments, I'm at a beautiful $419, $484, and 17 cents. I technically paid about $1,000, but I accrued interest from last month. You can start to take a look at my spreadsheet here. My initial debt balance was much higher. My current balance is $419, as previously mentioned, and I pay off about $4,629.89 each month. If you'd like to see the rest of my spreadsheet, I'd be happy to go over how this Avalanche method of debt payoff works.
Okay, so it seems like half of her debt is from her mortgage loan. So I'll cut her some slack, because houses aren't cheap these days, and at least good for her that she does own a home. I mean, to each their own, but I think that owning a home has the potential to be a lot more financially savvy in the long run. Of course, that may not be for everyone's case. I mean, do what you want to do, but yeah, I mean, the amount of debt that she has, given that it includes her mortgage, I mean, that's not as bad, and at least she is working on some payoff plan to fix it, so I can't fault her. This next guy, I wanted to include his video because he is actually confronting these people with their ridiculous spending, and actually giving them some tough love and really just telling them how it is. So I thought this was pretty entertaining.
The only card you can get is Credit One. You should not be getting any card. Credit One's the bottom of the barrel.
They helped me out a lot.
Shut the help you out how?
Right after the repo, I picked them up because they was the only ones that would help me out. I started with a $300.
Help you out? What do you mean help?
As far as getting a credit card so I can help build my credit back up.
What credit are you taking advantage of? When they're the only ones that are doing it, it means you're financially...
Well, how was I supposed to rebuild my credit?
I don't give a credit. Anytime you've ever taken advantage of credit, you got a car repoed. You max out your credit cards and then overmax them.
But
why would I want you to take advantage of credit? Oh, what's the credit limit? $500.
See, I started with 3, then it went to 5, then 1,000. But I'm just over a little bit.
Did you graduate high school?
Yeah. It was hard though.
Yeah.
I did good in some classes and not good in other classes.
Give me a class you were good in.
I did good in history.
You did well.
I did good in history, and I also did good in English.
So this guy sent me his spending habits over the year. So this is how much he spends on a yearly basis and what he spends it on throughout the year, and asked me to roast him. So here we go. First of all, W Scammer. This dude makes 20 grand a year selling an online course. What's the course about? How to use eBay? Now I gotta give credit where credit is due. This dude makes 270 grand off his clothing brand. That's really fucking hard to do. I don't know what your margins are, but I'd assume you could easily be clearing $1 million in gross revenue, so good for you. I don't know how you managed to pull this off, but hey, listen, you're lucky I'm not an IRS agent. This better be a mortgage, because if you're spending $8 grand for rent every month, then you're probably a dumbass. Personal training, 10 bands. What are they training you for? The Olympics? The fuck you spending 10 grand for? Vehicles? So you're telling me there's no way you bought, what, 2 fucking Toyota RAV4s, right? You're talking about this is lease, right? I can just picture this guy driving down LA with a nice ass Lamborghini, dressed in the most ridiculously expensive clothes that nobody absolutely needs to be wearing. But hey, shit, he's living the life. I can't even lie. I can't even hate.
My credit card, I maxed that out to 4,000.
What do you mean you max it out? Max it out or maxed it out?
So my max, I got confused with the credit debt and the credit limit. So my parents got me a credit card, and I ended up getting a max credit limit of $8,000. So I could spend up to $8,000. That's what that means, right? So I would use it, and I would take my boyfriend. We would just started dating. We would go out.
It's 12,500.
On it now?
Yeah.
Well, when I looked at
continue.
it last, yeah.
Continue.
Me and my boyfriend, me and my friends, we would go out, and I'm like, oh, I'll pay for everybody. I got it. I'll spend the money. Don't worry about it. It's just a credit card. So I would pay, and then I called.
Okay, I had to pause this for a second, but this is the mindset that I do not get. What? How do you just spend money on a credit card and just think that, oh, it's just a credit card? I mean, I get it. Like, technically, the money isn't leaving your bank account right then and there, but in the back of my mind, and I would assume of most people, you know that you're going to have to pay that money back at some point. And not only that, it'd be more than what you spend because you have interest. So I don't. So please keep that in mind, people. You have to pay it back.
I called my mom one day, and I wanted her to be proud of me. So it's just like, hey, I've got $4,000 credit on my credit card, and she's like, credit limit or credit debt? I was like, what's debt? And she's like, oh, that's bad. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. So it's $4,000 debt then? She's like, that's bad. Why did you do that? I'm like, I thought that was good. And she's like, no, your credit limit at the time, it was 8,000. So I was like, okay, well, the credit limit's 8,000. That's good, right? And she's like, yes, but you were $4,000 in debt. So I started paying it off maybe like for a month. And then my mom and dad, they were like,
When was this?
last year.
Okay, and then what?
And then they were like, screw it. You're not going to pay this off in time. Give it to me. So my parents took it, and they're still currently paying it off right now.
You didn't pay this $1,000?
You mean the 4,000?
No, the $1,000 that went to this card this last month was from them.
They've been paying it off from 4,000 to.
Where did?
They just basically gave up and said, you're not going to pay this in time.
And so that's the problem right there. She has parents that spoil her, I guess. And I mean, I guess a lot of us could be a little spoiled, but her parents don't seem to, like, she doesn't have to take accountability for her spending. And this is probably why she has this type of mindset at whatever age she is. She looks about in her early or mid 20s. So that's probably key. It's probably because her parents bailing her out. And $4,000 is really not that much to have. I mean, I guess it depends on how much you make, but that's not a big amount of debt compared to a lot of people. So
After the people.
You're moving out and you have a $4,000 credit card. You're not going to pay that off in time. You're going to get so overwhelmed. So just give it to me, and then we'll pay it. And then whenever.
Well, listen, I don't want you to suffer in debt, but is that helping you? Is that teaching you? I don't think so. I think they're done. You get it to zero, and over the next couple of years, maybe even when you start making more money and your lifestyle inflate yourself, you just bring it right up to the 12,500. That sounds like some forms of enablement to me.
Well, I mean, they said, well, whenever we pay it off, over time you can pay us back that $4,000. I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, well, we're gonna keep it, but if you need help with like something with your car or with your cat or with your dog or something, you can just ask us for it and you can use it and then you can pay that off.
Why are they just? Well, I'm curious. Why are they just like funding you? You make money.
Yeah.
Where's the money going? Where you can't take care of yourself as an adult? You wanted to move out like an adult.
Yeah.
But you have to rely on them taking care of you? I'm confused. Why can't you take care of your own
Well, I can. I mean,
then why don't you?
I do. I mean, if
Not from everything you just said.
my rent currently is 1,000, like 1,400, something like
Well,
that.
that's insane. You can't afford to live. You can't afford to go out.
Yes, I can.
No,
So-
you can't. No, you can't. Income that came in was 1,600. Rent is 12. That's not affording. That's your needs 80%.
Girl math.
That's your. This is not a joke.
I'm not treating it as a joke. I mean,
It's girl math. Math says it's about 80% of your income.
yeah. I mean, we get income from other ways too.
Well, I saw 128 came in from Lackland, and 263 came in from Cash App. So $2,000. So even still, your rent of what again?
Almost $1,400.
Okay. It's 70%. 70%. You cannot afford it. It shouldn't be higher than 30%.
Well, what I do is I go donate on the side too. So there's.
Where was it? It didn't come in, so you didn't.
I haven't done it in a long time. I hate doing it.
Okay, so don't say you do it.
But if like for whatever reason, like I feel like we're low, a couple $100 on rent, we'll go donate for the first couple days before rent's due. We'll grab the
No
money.
offense, you could not move out.
I did though.
Yeah, but you're not affording it. And don't say I am affording it, because I'll tell you how you're not affording it. They're paying your credit card bills. They're taking care of expenses that pop up. You can't afford it. You're being enabled.
I'm not being enabled.
Yes, because your money's going to you.
All right, yeah. So there you have it. This is how these people think that are in this ridiculous amount of debt. They think just like that last girl, well, not this one, but the one before her with the pink hair. Unfortunately, she's lucky that her parents are willing to pretty much pay all her bills for her, pretty much. Or maybe she's not lucky, because maybe she's never going to learn. But I think that has to be the mindset that people have that are in this ridiculous amount of debt. It's just that other people may not be as fortunate to have people to, just pay it all for them. They may not have parents that can just bail them out. But yeah, that's very unfortunate. And it doesn't seem like she's taking any accountability, or I don't know why. I guess she went on the show with him for him to tell her about herself, but it's like she wasn't taking any accountability. She was just she was in denial, saying that, oh yeah, I can still afford my rent, or I can still afford that. I guess I can. It's like, girl. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.